some of the things y'all do right now, I go, wow. And so thank you for having me on. My story, I was, you know, always very entrepreneurial, but lost, trying to find a way. I got into the mortgage business in '05. I started, making some decent money. And, I thought things would last forever. And then the subprime mortgage collapse in 2008 took place. And what I knew was different, completely different. Right before one of the big banks closed, like I think it was probably AmeriQuest. I don't know if any of y'all remember that bank, but they used to do a lot of stuff with the Major League Baseball league and Major League Baseball and a lot of sponsorship there. And when we had gone to Mexico for like a President's Club trip, Acapulco, Mexico, my first trip I've ever won. And when we got back from Mexico, about a week later, cops were in our office seizing files. Like you're talking about, and I don't know nothing. I'm 25,
A Wolf of Wall
26
Street.
years old. And like they're seizing files and they're cutting off our intranet. And we were a retail branch of one of the biggest subprime lenders in the country. I didn't really know that. Like I didn't know secondary Wall Street, how it really worked, you know. And so I survived in the mortgage business for another 5 to 7 years, probably 6 years or so. And I found insurance. And what I was looking for in insurance was something that I can, work as hard as I want, be paid what I'm worth, and control my time. And so I think that's why you're all here. It's like I want to be paid what I'm worth. I want to be able to set my own pace and I want to be able to control my time. And so what I learned in business is you don't really control your time because you found an opportunity. You only control your time when you work and earn control of that. And what I didn't do in the mortgage business, what I said I didn't know about subprime. I mean, I knew subprime, but I didn't know why. I didn't know why Wall Street collapsed. I didn't know that, paper was being sold in the secondary market. I had every right to know that, but I wasn't a student in the game. I was just trying to make money. It was just a job. And so when I got in insurance, I said to myself, I'm not going to be in that position again. I'm going to learn the industry. I'm going to learn underwriting guidelines. I'm going to be a good manager. I'm going to be a good leader. And so that was one of my goals. But I was also 6 figures in debt. So I needed to blaze the streets as well. And so I was very focused, very motivated to turn my situation around and go from, a place of 6 figures in debt to not being controlled by debt. And so if you've never been in that position, it's a brutal place to be in. And you find yourself, at least I found myself really trying to challenge and trying to impose my will on my life because I felt like I let my life become what it was. I let my life become a 6-figure debt story, a guy with work ethic with nothing to show for it financially. And that I couldn't, that didn't sit well with me, Hayden. That, this idea of, not having what I thought I could have at that age, at that point in my life. And so I worked tirelessly, 90, 100-hour work weeks to put that behind me. And we had the opportunity to do it. You all have that opportunity to do that. And the whole time I was building a team because I saw the value of building a team. But this is all in 2014. I was in the industry a year and a half prior to finding Family First Life. And it was really good. I mean, I cut my teeth in the industry. I learned a lot about recruiting. I learned a lot about sales. I learned a lot about doing them both. But at the end of the day, that wasn't the right avenue for me. And when I came to Family First Life, I was extremely, extremely driven to put my past behind me. And that was my number one goal. And so, yeah, I wrote a lot of life insurance at the tune of, five, $600,000 a year. At the time, that was a lot. I mean, now that's like you're like 250th in the company.
Seriously.
But at the time, you were one or two, you know? So, you know, whatever happened to the steroid era changed the industry. And so you have technology, you have you know, or remote is probably a better way to say it. Leads from from different, you know, you're not trapped in any one area. You're not trying to territory survive. When y'all got in the industry, it was like we're flying on a plane. Hey, we're getting these kind of leads. We're gonna
Yep.
find them wherever. We're gonna we're gonna load up. We're gonna book flights, fly to this area. You know, I've seen this industry morph and morph and morph and morph, and every time it was progressive. You know, so everyone on here, you're coming in at the most progressive time you could be in the industry. So you have a lot of opportunity to take advantage of in front of you. And so take that to heart that it's not anyone's fault. It's your freaking fault. If it's not going the way you wanted to go, it's your fault. If it's going the way you wanted to go, it's your fault. Keep doing the right things. And no matter what, even if it's going amazing, it's going to change. And if you don't adapt to that change, it's your freaking fault.
Yep.
So you have an interesting, you know, viewpoint, if you will. It's not going well. Who do I get to blame? It's going well. Let me bask in how well it's going. It's going well and it's going to change. Let me follow the change.
Wow.
But either way, you, ain't nobody coming to save you. There's times, there's never times for me at Family First Life where it wasn't going well financially, but there were times where I was overexpensed. And so I could blame whatever I wanted to blame. Right? There was times where it was going extremely well for me, where I wasn't overexpensed and I was crushing. My bank account was crushing it. And I could have been like, I made it. And then there was times where it was changing and I didn't adapt with the change. And I could get mad that it changed. And I could say, man, the good old days, man. You remember the good old days? Remember how it used to be? And so what I learned is that it's always my fault. And what I've learned is to not only adapt with the change, but try to stay ahead of the change. And what I've learned is the best way to do that is work ethic and keeping your head on a swivel and talking to industry leaders that are doing great things. Because everyone's always gonna, you talk to enough people that are doing great things, you're gonna find out you're gonna skate to where the puck is going, not to where the puck is. And so that's been a lot of my journey. And, you know, getting to recruit and bring in people and, you know, work with people and learn how to help people and learn how to help people better and learn how to help people better and learn how to help people better is probably where I'm at right now is like, how do we get to a place of unbelievable service? You know, like where it's just like, I read this book called Unreasonable Hospitality, which is just an amazing book. And you know, it's ridiculous the heights that these guys would go to become the number one restaurant in the world. Will Guidara is the author's name. It's a good book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It'll take your game to another level, or at least shift your perspective. And so, this year, the word for me is impact, Nina and Hayden. And so, I think about what can we do to be ridiculously serviceable or ridiculously hospitable or unreasonably hospitable. And so at different stages in your career, you get to be the author. And I don't care if you just got your first set of leads. I don't care if you and your spouse are arguing because there's not enough money coming in the house. I don't care if you just, you know, wrote 25,000 this week and 23,000 of it got paid. You get to be the author. And so you get to pen where you're going. And you need to take that to heart and to mind and think about that. Because as much as we don't have control, we do have control over our attitude and the amount of activity we put into anything. And so you all have that control. And 2024 is going to be epic. You know what? You know when I realized, Nina, that it kind of like I was insignificant. It's like 2024 is going to be epic, whether I decide to be epic with it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be epic. There's going to be some people all across. I mean, Taylor Swift is a billionaire, and she's Times Person of the Year through music. Everyone else did it with a product, with some type of makeup, some type of clothing brand, some type of something. She did it through music. And so it's going to be epic. Even if it takes 15 years, it's going to be epic. Whether you're on the epic ride or not, someone's moving the needle. And so that perspective is humbling because I'm not the end all be all. And so I get to be inspired by other people too. And I get to watch what greatness looks like. And I get to say, are we actually, can we get to another level? Can we get to, yeah, I mean, there's many levels that we can go to. So I don't care where you are. I don't care where you're coming from. The opportunity is yours right now. And so why not take advantage of the greatest year of your life? It's going to be epic. And you're going to get to ride the epic train. So I'll start with that, guys. I don't know if you have any questions or
Two things
anything.
I got from that. Mark's a Swiftie, and
Uh,
we're taking the epic train. That was good. I love that, Mark.
Mark, can you talk about convention? You've been to literally every single one since the company started. A lot of new people on the call. A lot of people on the call just got their license, or like they're still waiting for their license to get approved by the state and like actually issue to get started. Can you talk about the importance of convention, and whether you're a new agent or you're a seasoned agent, kind of what are the things that you would do and make sure that you get out of the convention, and how to prepare for it?
Yeah, I mean, convention's epic. What I love about convention is you're gonna be forced to make decisions. If I'm, you got the Chiefs Dolphins game this weekend, right? It's gonna be negative. It's gonna be a -10 wind chill. It's gonna be 5 degrees at kickoff. The players on that field are put in an element where they're forced to make a decision. You're either gonna give it everything you got for 4 hours and leave it all out there, or you're gonna tap because that weather, that's going to force you to either be ballistic or tap out. There's just no two ways about it. You will see it. You will absolutely see it for 60 minutes. You will absolutely see whether guys brought everything or if they just said mercy. And so I like being put in environments where I'm forced to make a decision. A convention, it's not as dramatic as I just described the Chiefs Dolphins game, but you are forced to make a decision. And so, because there's too many winners walking up on stage, there's too many people doing it, there's too many people that are average and ordinary human beings, just like the rest of us, that are on stage saying, I was here, I made this decision, and now I'm here. And so, when you see that time and time and time and time and time and time again, your woe is me, your it can only happen for people like that. It can only happen for people that are 6'6", slender and who work out. It can only happen for, fat people. No. There's every size, creed, color, nationality is on stage. Religion is on stage. All walks of life. No matter how young, no matter how old, you're going to see people from all walks of life. And so that environment starts to condense. Your excuses go into this kind of jar. And in the jar, there's no oxygen. There's only two options. We're either going to explode the jar and get it to pop, or we're going to die in the jar. I like that. Most people are inspired to break the jar. I like that too. And so everyone who's going down there has the opportunity to break the jar. And so I would encourage you to bring your spouse. And I would encourage you, if you have agents, to bring your agents. Even if you have 2 agents, bring them. Because if 4 of y'all go down there and you all come back ready to break a jar, something's going to happen. Something crazy is going to pop. You don't need a lot of people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You don't. So, but if you have a team of 25 people, go down there with 25 people, because you're going to see the difference between where you are and where you want to be. And I think that's very important. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you ID people that are successful, that you register with, that you think that if you got some time with them, you would get to hear thought processes that you don't already know, or thought processes that you're not processing correctly right now. You do know, you're just not processing correctly. Don't be so afraid and or full of yourself that you're not going to go up to someone who's doing it the way you want to do it and ask them a question about what it is you want to do. And so what I would do at conventions, Hayden, is I would ask multiple people the exact same question. Not because I want to hear someone talk, but because I want to make sure I'm processing it correctly. I want to make sure that when I put all this into a blender, that I'm getting what I'm looking for. And so I have my questions down and ready. And as I'm at convention, I'm making new questions. Sometimes I might hear someone say something that's like, wow, and so I need to find them, track them down, and try to get an answer. What you need to understand is this is a successful arena full of people that are successful. So you're going down there to track success. And you better believe that success leaves tracks. And so you get to not only track success, but you get to hawk it down and find the people that are saying the things you're registering with and lock it in. And don't be shy. I mean, don't be a jerk, but don't be shy. Successful people are also going down there knowing that there's hungry people looking for success, and they're going to be open and willing to help you with what it is you have. And so convention is a game changer because it's where big decisions are made. There's something about that arena, that environment, the emotions that are going through you that say, why not me? And that's one of the most powerful questions you can ever ask yourself, is why not me? And that's it. And so you have an opportunity once a year to get in an environment like that. 6,000 people, walls to the walls, and it's going to be a live environment. So I would highly recommend you get yourself a flight, and you get yourself a room anywhere in Dallas, and make it over to convention and have a successful event. But what Limitless has already birthed is insane. I mean, y'all have so many winners that it's just you're a product of the stuff I'm saying right now, and bringing a bunch of people to convention and seeing a lot of people's lives change and seeing a lot of people make big decisions. And so that's fantastic. And that's what you guys need to look forward to with convention.
I love it. Well, Mark, we appreciate you getting on. We're super excited for convention, super excited to hear the epicness that you speak on day one. If you haven't registered, guys, make sure you go to fflconvention.com. I'll drop the link in the group chat as well for those tickets. And it's going to be January 31st to the 3rd. A little bit different this year. On the night of the 1st, it's Hall of Fame dinner. On the night of the 2nd, that Friday, it's going to be the awards ceremony. And then Saturday, if you want to leave after a night, you can get out of town. You don't have to wait for any awards show. So super excited about that. We will see you guys there in a few weeks. And Mark, as always, appreciate you.
Mark.
You're the man. We're grateful.